I don't have to do a game. Oh.
You get time.
This game recap.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that on loud?
Missed all of last year due to right shoulder surgery. 0-1 is drilled deep out to left field. Back goes Antunes. He looks up, and that is...
Oh, 2. Swing and a miss.
All right. So I finally got a chance to change the intro a little bit. And
Hey.
Welcome back to another. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, welcome to another episode of Tigers Minor League Report podcast, presented by our friends over at Just Baseball Network. I'm Rahul Castillo, with me is Brandon Day and Chris Brown, and you can find us on Tigers or Apple Podcasts. I know there's been issues with Motor City Bengals or Motor City Metrics. Wow, I should never see that damn website ever again. We was experiencing some issues with Motor City Metrics right now on iTunes, so I apologize. We're just trying to figure that out right now and get that logistics settled. But thank you for tuning in. We had over 1,000 people tune in to the show on Thursday. Uper, Mike, and Ashley are doing a fantastic job over there. Holding the fort down. Do I have an echo?
I don't hear one. There's
maybe I shouldn't have it. I shouldn't have an echo.
You both sound fine to me.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me switch my mics. That's why.
All right, maybe that's a little better. Okay.
There we go.
That sounds. Yeah, that's real.
It's probably okay. It was pick up the mic. Yeah, it was the mic one or the mic on the Logitech camera. Anyway, but yeah, so a lot to get to, a ton to get into between the breaking news out in Erie this weekend. Jackson Jobe Jackson Jobe just basically going to the center of the mound and go, I'm going to dominate. And there was hope. The hope floats in Erie.
Sandy Bullock
jokes. Sandra Bullock jokes. Erie was a good time. And by the way, there's merch. Look, I got the cap now. So there's not, and see, I'm not. Look, you guys know I'm a hat snob, right?
Yeah.
I wear fitted hats, but for my own brand, we can't get a fitted hat just yet. So I finally bowed and got a snap cap. It's good quality. You can buy a shirt and go to Redbubble and find our stuff. So, but where to start, gentlemen? Let's start with the Tigers road trip to the Kings of the West Coast. 7-2 a road trip, and that's their 7th straight road series victory. It's such a franchise record. Crazy.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because in the same sense that nothing this season makes any sense at all. Like, they were the worst road team in baseball, and now they're the best road team in baseball. Forever, we've had a terrible time on the West Coast, and now they go out there and punch everyone in the face after trading Skubal and Mize. That just seems to be the way this season is going. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, I mean, Rod, you had the great stat about them. This is the first time they've ever swept the A's in a season series, which is hard to believe.
Yeah.
And the young kids have all come up and they're just balling. They're just having fun, and the lineup suddenly feels so deep now. When you have Valencia and you have Clark and you have Lee off the bench and you have McKinstry hitting and Baez is Baez, like he's your 8th hitter and he could blow the game open with one swing at any time. They're doing this with Riley Green slumping pretty hard, but Torque has picked up the slack a little bit. Colt Keith has picked up the slack. It's just a fun team to watch, and that's not even mentioning the pitching, which has been excellent. So, and the bullpen suddenly got decent the other day, like 6 straight strikeouts to end the game. How's that going?
Yeah, but not necessarily from one guy at least that you'd expect. I was looking through everybody's stats. I mean, just all of a sudden, like Drew Summers the past 2 months has been great. Tyler Holton's been great for 2 months now and is locked in. Kenley Jansen, I don't think had allowed a run since late June at this point. Kyle Finnegan still looks like, I don't understand how this ERA is where it is, but because the peripherals are terrible, but it's working. Wagsback is kind of like contributing here and there. The funny problem for the Tigers right now is that they have a lot of dudes that might come back and they don't necessarily want to rock the boat right now.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with success. I mean, obviously James Outman, is expendable, and he could go if Vierling or Carpenter come back, or Wenzel Perez. But yeah, it's a hilarious set of problems to have. They sold. They restocked the pitching, and now the next couple years look a lot brighter as a result of that. But this team shouldn't be doing as well, but it is. And and now you don't want some of the guys that you were worried about missing to come back, because everything's clicking so well right now. It's been I mean, honestly, since August of 2024, like nothing has made sense with this team.
And like all those times this year, we're like, oh, it's just too big of a hole, and they haven't done this, and to get back in it, they have to play baseball at this percentage. They're there. They've done everything that you could have asked for. Cleveland has fallen back, and they've got what, 6 games against Cleveland and the White Sox this week.
Yep. Biggest 2 series of the season now. All of a sudden we're like right in the thick of things, and both of them are coming to town.
Yeah, so it's they've done an incredible job of keeping the thing afloat. That's just where you've got to give credit to Hinch and the coaches, and whatever the players on the team for not. I mean, they're professionals, but it's understandable when guys can get down if you lose in 1 week. You lose Jake Rogers, you lose Tarek Skubal, you lose Casey Mize. Like, these are the 3 longest tenured guys on the big league club, and everybody else is just like, all right, well, we'll just keep playing.
And there's this nice combo of like having the energy of Clark and Valencia wearing his heart on his sleeve and mashing taters and hitting great. And then on the other hand, you got Javi and Glaber back now as sort of the veteran presences who kind of, can kind of teach these guys and mold things a little bit. And the whole balance has just been, it's just been kind of crazy to watch. I mean, I still look at the bullpen with horror and fear. But at the same time, like they're kind of a juggernaut of a positional group now, and it's kind of really confusing us.
Yeah, and it's Troy Milton has been so good, and it's kind of unbelievably good in a way that, I mean, like, there's no way this can continue like this good, right? Like,
right.
Spectacular. Like, I don't think he's going to break like the Oral Hershiser record of scoreless innings or whatever. I think he gave up an unearned run, but and we've seen Montero has had a couple bumps, but and who knows how much to trust Drew Anderson, the starter. But Flaherty should be back relatively soon. I don't know. Actually, he hasn't started a rehab, so who knows what's going on there. But the Job start was pretty encouraging.
Yeah, seemingly, at least, within a couple weeks, Flaherty, should be back, and then we'll see if River Ryan can get back, and they're going to have a lot of interesting, fun problems if all of it comes together. I mean, I think all season long we were all kind of pointing to Job, like, I mean, that's something that might work out for them. It'll probably take him some time to kind of, piece things together. No, just like, oh, Jackson Job, and I'm back. What's up, punks?
I did like that. I mean, he's looking like thick, like a muscle man, and just
he got on the Skubal training program,
pumping 100, and he's always had this incredible arm, and it was just a matter of trying to get it all to work together. And we'll see. I'm sure there'll be ups and downs with him, but they made that small change, right, of moving him on the mound a little bit.
Yep.
And maybe the arm angle slightly, or stride direction, and it's the most whiffs he's ever had in his fastball in the big leagues. It's obviously not a huge sample. I think it was 5.
Yeah.
But if you can get whiffs with this fastball, then that's gonna make the rest of the profile explode, because the secondary stuff is bonkers still. So.
Yep. Yeah. And the problem with him has always been like, okay, he throws this hard, but he doesn't get that many whiffs on the fastball. The shape is a little bit it doesn't play the way the shape should play necessarily, even according to the numbers. But they've managed to kind of tune that up a little bit. And he's always had the secondary stuff. He can spin the heck out of the baseball. The split change is nasty. I mean, that is a really nasty pitch for him. And starting to mix, the thing I thought last year that kind of, helped him get to the big leagues and have some success early, even when he wasn't getting that many whiffs, was starting to mix the sinker in more. And that seems to be a Tigerish thing. It's like, if you have a bad fastball or you have problems with your fastball, we'll just have you throw like 3 different types of fastball and we'll make it work. It's working for Melton, amping the cutter up into the low 90s now. And it may work for Job as well. But it's just these things like coming up well when you know that there's a possibility that Joe could come back and do well, but you can't just tell yourself everything's just going to come up aces, but it kind of is right now. And it's awkward, especially after everything. I mean, things could not have gone worse in May. I mean, it was one of the worst months in franchise history, and we all said, hey, they've got to play at least, they've got to win 60% of their games and play 600 ball the rest of the way. Well, and that might not be enough. They may still end up selling anyway. I think we all kind of like nailed this. That's kind of how it's been. They couldn't quite get there, fast enough to avert trading off Skubal and Mize, but in the long term, we're going to be happy that they did, and they haven't missed a step. And in fact, they seem inspired and playing like, we have nothing to lose baseball. We'll see what happens if they actually take the lead in the division over the next week or two. But and then you suddenly have some expectations again. But I also think there's an interesting point here where there's so many guys this year that it felt like they should just get rid of and cut. And the Tigers are stubborn and they don't do things. And obviously it didn't work out with Jahmai Jones, but with a lot of other guys, they started to come around, and here we are with some of those players like McKinstry, who maybe was just battling the injuries early this season, and some of the relievers like Kenley, Tyler Holton. Kind of you just give them enough leash and time to kind of work on it, and they've figured it out. I know I do have like the full blue plaid going today. It's also
Yeah, it's funny. Jahmai Jones is tearing it up for the Red Sox, and Jake Rogers has been hitting wherever he went. So it's baseball is a very funny game.
The Red Sox are a really interesting study in this, because I had them win in the East, and then they have the Rafael Devers crap to start the year. Garrett Crochet gets hurt. Things shouldn't be working out for them, and then they just went absolutely nuts too. Both these teams have just kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
As far as go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I was going to say that the thing that gets me now is kind of crazy is there's a chance not only that the Tigers can take the division, they might get a bye in the playoffs. I mean, like the Astros don't have a terribly good record, so if you're like Tampa looks like they're going to run away with the East, but I don't know, maybe Boston can catch them, but you're going to end up with one of the two best records for a division winner if you can win the division. Chicago handled business against Cleveland, so you got to take them out, but it's just kind of crazy to think this is even possible right now with 6 weeks left.
Yep.
I mean, even like one of the things that sort of talked about Riley Green earlier, the biggest kind of thing that strikes me as odd is that his off speed last year was hitting off speed at 261 clip. This year it's 179, and he doesn't have, as far as like just basically whiff wise, it's increased by 2%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but teams are taking advantage of it. But he's hitting breaking balls better at 298. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But as far as like somebody mentioned here is Jorge Mateo versus Zach McKinstry. Did you see that throw that McKinstry made the other day in San Francisco?
Yeah,
that was a perfect throw. Like it was like Tommy Umansky's. He didn't need the relay. He was like, no, screw Tommy Umansky. And what I learned from him in his tapes from Fred McGriff, I'm just going to throw it and throw a dime right down the plate. And McKinstry's been coming up clutches of late too. He's been hitting better. And he's been doing those things that have been helping the little things defensively, bringing that utility value. Sometimes, look, he was pretty close to being cut too early July too. But the biggest thing that I've been seeing too is Colt Keith. Colt Keith has been hitting more consistently. He's been drawing better at bats, walking when they need him to. And it's just kind of like, I know that Keith, we've talked about his power too. And but at the same time, Keith's been a steady performer. And I don't think he did enough credit for that, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and the timing was pretty crucial because he kind of got hot right when Riley started to cool down, and that's given him that extra bat in there. And I mean, it's all we've been saying this for years. Like it's hard to fully believe that Colt Keith has arrived until the dingers start flying, because we know he's got that in him, and he has been relatively snake bitten on deep fly balls this year, maybe, but yeah, he just he got hot like he kind of always does, where he starts to remind you of like Nick Castellanos or something. Like I don't know what to do with this guy as a fielder, but when he's on, like he's just spraying line drives and getting hits everywhere, for months at a time, and you just have to ride it. But there's not really a sign yet either that he's like figured it all out and is leveling up into an everyday player. But he came through when they needed him to, and has sorted it out. Riley, Riley has just been in this weird, like, I'm making all these adjustments, year after year, like the last couple of years, like trying different things. He came into the season trying to chase less, and he was doing it, but he wasn't hitting as many home runs, and everybody got on that. And then, he started hitting a lot more home runs in June, and now he feels like he's, kind of lost in limbo again. Whereas Colt Keith keeps, just experimenting with different leg kicks, and every once in a while something clicks for him for a while, and he goes nuts.
Well, I think one other thing Riley Green has done this year is hit lefties. Which is something he did in the minors, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was an issue last year, and I'm looking right now. How's he doing against lefties? 346. It's only 693 OPS, but if you're putting the ball in play against lefties, that's good. And that's another thing about McKinstry is he has cut his strikeout rate by like 6% this year. I think I want to say Dombrowski not Dombrowski. Jeez. Dan Dickerson. I was thinking of a different DD. He was talking about how the Tigers are last in chase and I guess lowest chase rate. They just have really kind of remade the team on the fly as this pesky group of battlers out there. It's kind of typified by McGonigal, but we've seen other guys put up long battles, and I've even been impressed by Valencia is this big slugger and he'll swing and miss, but he'll battle. And if you make a mistake, he's going to crush it. So it's a lot of fun right now. We'll see what happens down the road. I think it's fun to ride McKinstry. When he's hitting like this, he's basically Ben Zobrist. So that's good. And Keith has, I think, like a 160 WRC plus since July 1st. So he's picking up the slack, and and keep up.
And every time Hao-Yu Lee, it seems like he's going to kind of go into a funk, or he's chasing, or he gets down early in an at bat. He still seems to manage to put the bat on the ball, which was not the way it was for him in Toledo. So, I mean, that's another impressive one, especially because he's not playing that much, and he's still been able to contribute.
Defensively, Colt Keith, here's the thing. Everybody's giving crap about his defensive value. Last year was a -3. This year is 1 in terms of like StatCast fielding run value. He's not bad of a defender. I don't. He has at first base. He's just terrible. But
he seems to have a knack for when he makes his mistakes. They're at like points where everybody's like paying attention. It's really he made a really nice pick on a sharp line drive yesterday, like right in the dirt. Picked it, got the out. But he bobbled the ball coming in. I don't even know what play he could have made there. He wasn't getting the guy at home.
It was a total do or die play. I mean, where you can't just like grab it and then cock to throw. You kind of have to grab it into the into your throw. I mean, it's just a tough play. He's not that guy. He's not Manny Machado.
So who, by the way, has one more this year, something like that. So
anyway. There's a lot of weird ones like that out there this year. Yeah, a lot of guys just fell off.
As far as Valencia goes defensively, that's who he is. We've been telling you this since, if you listen to the podcast long enough and what have you, Valencia has his shortcomings, which is why I was surprised he got the call up when he did. I'm more shocked when they let go of Jake Rogers because you're all right.
Yeah. Berners got me.
Yeah, 22. So I'm drinking 2 Burners. But I was surprised they dropped Jake Rogers because of the issues that the Valencia has. It's not that he's terrible defensively. He can frame, he can throw a decent ball. Sometimes he has those lapses. That's why you don't see him at first. Defensively at first base, he's not good. Will, to answer your question, no, defensively during spring training there were some lapses there for that. So
So I think what they've always liked Valencia, particularly I think Kenny Graham was the guy who's his champion for a long time, and I think they believe in his work ethic. A guy who's stayed with it and he's taken this long and stuck with it and got to the big leagues. They like the bat, and they think he's the sort of guy who will do whatever he can to get as good as he can behind the plate. And honestly, with as good as Dingler is, you want him behind the plate as much as possible. Obviously, he's such a good hitter that you want to give him days off. But I think Valencia can make it as you get 2 different kinds of backup catchers, right? You get the Jake Rogers, who's you're going to believe in his defense and he might hit you a bomb, and you get an offensive backup catcher who may hurt you on defense a little bit, but the bat is going to help, and he could also come off the bench. So I don't know. They may fold in a little bit first base, but I think we may see. We'll get into this with Briseño later, but they could have an interesting kind of triumvirate play first catcher DH next year.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing about it is that there are some teams that wouldn't mind having Valencia catch, more often, but the Tigers are really keen on having, good defensive catching. They teach it well, and that there's a reason Jake Rogers has been here as long as he has. And so, yeah, I'm surprised that they're willing to kind of ride with them. Obviously, it's going to be all Dingler catching in the postseason if they get there. But yeah, and then we'll just see what they do next year. It still seems like they would go get themselves, kind of a high end defender of some sort to kind of pair with them. And then, yeah, maybe you mix in Valencia and Briseño at first. I don't know. Valencia and Keith never really got enough chance to play first either. That's the other thing. Like, there's always been talk about him playing first, but it's always just kind of been a part-time thing. All right,
Yeah,
I'm going to take this off so people don't have to hear me cough and go drink some water. I'll be right back.
I think Valencia is essentially, he's kind of like Wilson Ramos, right?
Yeah.
Who the Tigers had a couple years ago, and they, he could hit, and they eventually got rid of him because he was not a good defender. But if he's not your main catcher, I think you can live with that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with because Briseño, I think they're going to have him continue to play catcher. As much as we all want, just put him at first.
Yep.
There's value in being able to catch, being able to put on the gear, and particularly if you're a left-handed catcher, that's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Left-handed hitting, obviously, they don't let lefties play catcher for some reason. But
So, can we spend the next 30 minutes talk about Job Changeup? Yes, we can. We will do that here in a second. But I want to give a shout out to
3 years talking about Job Changeup.
That's true.
We have mentioned it already, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. A shout out to Jason Beck, who gave us the credit for the Briseño news yesterday on MLB.com, which was some controversy because.
Well,
go ahead, Chris.
So we didn't break that. That was Dr. Degenerate again.
Yeah.
We don't know who Dr. Degenerate is, other than he keeps getting these things correct before they happen, including Jake Rogers and Valencia getting called up and multiple call-ups now. So connected in some way. But you went and confirmed it through various channels, and then you tweeted about it.
Because I saw him. He didn't start the game, and I didn't see him in the dugout. So, and I didn't see him at all in the Erie. When you go to the Erie, center field opens up, and they have the training facility, and that's how you get back to the train. The clubhouse and all that stuff. And I didn't see him back there either. So I was like, but I didn't think anything of it outside of just maybe, I don't know, he was somewhere else. It's Scott Harris's burner account. Probably be, but why is he always feeding certain fan accounts? That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, other than that, and also Briseño had a really, he homered in 3 straight games. Saturday he had a couple long flyouts before it was out. But overall, look, he was ready to, I thought the Tigers would keep him down in Erie just so they could have him for the postseason. But then the other roster moves make sense. Woody Hayden's going to go to Erie. Roberto Campos is back in Erie. Lucas Elselt's going to Erie. So they get some much needed reinforcements. Andrew
Sears to Toledo.
Yeah.
And maybe it had to do with, they signed Carlos Perez, and he went nuts hitting for a couple days, and then he got hurt, and then they signed Zevi Zavala, and he got hurt, so they kind of needed a catcher. Maybe it was just it all kind of worked out timing wise, but Briseño missed half the season, and missed half of 2024 with the knee thing. This is his 3rd full season of minor league ball, and he's only played about 2 seasons. And he's already kind of conquered Double-A, and I think they just saw all right, he's red hot. He's handling these, he's handling these guys no problem. He's 100%, and they went for it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what feeds in what we talked about with Ryan Garco and Scott Harris before. You master the level. They look for guys to master the level.
Yeah, because they don't want you to not be challenged. They don't want you to be like, oh, I'm chilling and just wrecking shop here, full time. They want to, okay, you got this, it's time to move up and test yourself. I mean, it was kind of the same with Clark, right? It's not like he was having a bad year. He was doing a lot of things well. You could see improvements in his defense. And he was handling things at the plate. He just wasn't hitting for much power. And then as soon as he started driving the ball a little bit more, and handling lefties and kind of doing all those little things, for just a couple week span, it was all right, he's ready.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time too, where you're gonna see Tyron Lorenzo to get some more back reps at catcher too, and they got Bennett Lee as down there as well. But yeah, let's talk about Jack. All right, well, you know what we'll do with we'll talk some Jackson Jobe here. So I'm pulling up. I'm trying to get some clips ready for Jackson Jobe.
Okay.
And also we have to worry about copyright too. So, but at the same time, at this point, screw it. But no, Jackson Jobe. Let's talk about Jackson Jobe coming back, and yeah, here looking a little thick, as Chris would say, or anybody would say. He looked a little thicker. This is 100. Like he was bored down in the minors. Like, by the way, I love the Gigantes jerseys. Those are pretty sweet. Those Giants jerseys in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Los Gigantes is a good one. That one and the Los Serpientes are my two favorites.
The Los Serpientes are really good too. They have like
Yeah, that doesn't fair.
Yep. Yeah, buddy.
Let's you know, I want to slow this down. If I'm see if I can figure out a way to slow this down.
I mean, that's pretty sick. That's a lot like it's a different type, but it kind of moves like Scooble's changeup that way. Like it starts to fall, but then it also just goes wee. A lot of horizontal movement. And Max out there running into stuff. Yeah, you do need to smoke. We're all gonna need to go get some fresh air after this. We're a little overheated. This is sexy.
Yeah, and Jobe did exactly what he was supposed to do, which is change eye levels a lot. And that was something he was like, I wanted him to able to go high and go low with the fastball and change up exactly what he was able to do and get those swings and misses that he needed. And here's a sweet double play here by Torres.
He's always had good balance too. It's his mechanics have always been good, but he just looks so stable. And yeah, I mean, maybe it is just having the absolute tree trunk legs now. Yeah. Got on the Scooble deadlifting program or whatever happened.
Yeah.
There was a time when friends and countrymen that Tark Scooble was also a rather skinny 21-year-old lad who was throwing hard.
Yeah. But people call him fat cracks me up too. Like, guys, there's a thing called muscle. You can get muscle and not be fat.
Yeah. He's just thick in the best way.
Yeah.
I just went.
Plus, he's got that resting bitch face, which I always enjoy. like Jackson just always looks like he's annoyed at everybody, and like about to pitch a fit one way or the other, and just never does.
This is from 2022 when we were watching the 3-pitch strikeout of Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oh yeah,
who's your probable NL MVP? We'll see if he beats Shohei. This is right when his changeup was coming into existence. I think he gets a swing and missing one of them.
And look at Jobe's like, get your ass back in there. Let's go.
Yeah, he got. I think we talked about it. It was like fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Yep. There's the changeup, I think. And then he comes back with a breaking ball. It was just kind of fun to see these two young players. 4 years.
These guys aren't wrong. The neck is pretty thick too. I don't know if it's quite Tyler Holton or Andy Dirk's neck, but he's in a long line of proud neck tradition in Detroit Tigers fandom.
I like Pete Crow. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong's just talking shit the entire time too. Like, wouldn't shut up. Total red ass.
Tearing up the visitor locker room.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bitching. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, really?
Yeah, people have been going and digging up all the Guardians posts from about a month ago about how it's just a 2-team race.
Yeah, thank you, by the way, Frames and Rhythm for liking our clips. How long do they limit his innings for? That is a good question, Tony. But I think they're just going to play. I think they're going to play by ear, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. I mean, how many he had? 45 last year or so. 49 last year. I mean,
I think they're just not going to want the outings to be super long. Maybe in the postseason that changes, but 75, 85 pitches, something like that. But that's kind of what they do with Melton, even, like Melton might top 90, but they don't go much beyond that in general.
Yeah, I think they'll be cautious, but he'll get. We said 6 weeks left. He'll probably get 40, 45 innings, something like that.
And maybe there's less concern because everything went perfectly, and that's kind of what we were hearing all summer long. Is that he looked great? He was strong. He was right back. Throwing super hard, and they were already working on stuff. When it goes that well, maybe you think about it a little differently than when a guy comes back and his velo's off or his control's off a little bit and he can't quite get it dialed in. If you're pitching this well, that's about as efficient as it gets just to be throwing the ball that well. So we'll see. But I don't think they're going to keep a tight rein on him any more than they do on just everybody, because that's just kind of company policy.
No, and we've got, this is the second time we've seen Jackson Jobe suffer a fairly severe injury and come back like bigger, stronger, and like he seems to heal pretty quickly. So I think they're.
We could say that for Josue Broseño as well. Came back from the knee injury, looking in great shape, and got leaner. And then comes back from the wrist injury, and all of a sudden it looks like he's got a more flexible platform. Like he's dipping down even better than he was before. Getting knee flex and still hitting the ball out of the park. Rehab is the key, apparently. You got to get hurt to get better.
We were doing a little like a preview of our top 40 or whatever, and I was just saying that Broseño does things that people like aren't supposed to do. Like I mentioned winning the Triple Crown in the AFL, which has never been done before, but coming back and hitting 8 home runs in 17 games in AA, like what?
Yep. That's unreasonable. You're not supposed to do it.
Well, and I think it's good for him. We talked before, it was always the big three, right? It was Clark, McGonigal, and Broseño, and he was always kind of the third wheel because society. And now, McGonigal has been awesome up in the big leagues, obviously, and Clark finally joined him. So now Broseño's got a chance to shine for a little bit, at least, on his own, and people will give him credit for being the really good hitter that he is. So that part's good, I guess, if you want to find a silver lining in the injury.
Yep. And, you guys did your list, and Baseball America's put out new lists, 2 new top 30s and new top 100s. And obviously the Tigers farm system isn't what it was, like end of last year, but that's only because we were graduating a ton of good players now. So, don't sweat it too much. They did a really nice job, bolstering the pitching side now and building balance in there. And we don't necessarily, you want as many Kevin McGonigals as you can get, but they're in good position now, where as long as they've got the pitching factory coming and a few guys like Broseño, Hope, and Rayner, that's kind of what you need. You don't need the farm system ranking is just to get you to where they're getting right now. So yeah, it's been pretty impressive. I did an interview like an hour and a half before this, and we were talking about that quite a bit. Where people are like, "Oh, but the farm," and it's like, well, screw the farm. The farm is just here to make the team better. Don't worry about that too much. And there's a lot of guys that I think we all like who are just outside of kind of top 100 status now, and several of them are pitchers. So, it's just up to them to develop the next couple guys and keep the pipeline going. But the Tigers kind of look like they have a good team, a good position group built and set up for years to come now. And there's only a couple more guys, coming, and hopefully more beyond that.
Yeah, and we'll address that when we get to the cards or the slideshow here in a little bit. But I wanted to address tomorrow. The Guardians coming to town. We mentioned this earlier. Now the Guardians are 1 game back of the Tigers for second place, and then the White Sox. The big series this week. But one thing is certain: tomorrow, just win. And the Tigers are 0-6 against Cleveland this year. Cleveland had, and I do not want Cleveland fans talking shit anymore. I'm tired of it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
For how many times, it doesn't matter. It's so funny how Cleveland, like, you guys choked the division away. Well, we beat you in postseason. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yep. I know.
So
I know they, considering that they've been the dominant team in the Central for a while now, they do get a little bit little brotherish about it sometimes. Maybe it's just because there's so much media about the Tigers, but that's 90% been Scooble. Like, we're finally free. Well, we're still not 100% free from the Scooble talk, but we're kind of in that, that, okay, we're moving on to do new things. It's not just about Tarek Scooble and how we're about to feed, the Dodgers and other ace or whatever.
Yeah. How bad Cleveland is as a big brother. You know how bad it is that they literally do something it's just obnoxious like this.
Cleveland, come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Under construction since 1868. See our river that catches on fire. It's so polluted that all our fish have AIDS. We see the sun almost 3 times a year. This guy has at least 2 DUIs. Flats look like a Scooby-Doo ghost town. Don't slow down in East Cleveland or you'll die. Our
Get him.
Based on LeBron James. Buy a house for the price of a VCR. Our main is crippling depression. We're so retarded that we think this is art. It could be worse, though. At least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit.
Yeah,
we're definitely not Detroit, my friend.
Yeah, you're definitely not Detroit. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to we have a lot of Cleveland fans out there, friends, I should say.
Oh, it's killing me.
There's a lot of people I know in Cleveland, good people. Greg Ganga is from Ohio. I know a lot of people from Ohio. That video, like, I don't know, it just irritates me sometimes. It's like, at least we're not Detroit. It's like,
yeah,
okay, well, I don't want my lake on fire. Cuyahoga Falls, and anyway, it doesn't matter. They had a win tomorrow. They had to win this whole series. And I think, to me, if the Tigers don't win this series, all that good work they did on the West Coast is for naught. I know that sounds over dramatic, but man, they really, really need to, they really need to win this series. And I know Metal Bug, I'm with you, Metal Bug. The White Sox have been playing above and beyond, and they haven't swooned yet, right? I mean, they haven't really.
A little, but yeah, not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously mathematically, like, they don't have to win the series, to determine the outcome of the season, but it would squash the vibes. That's for sure. To go come home after all that and then get beat by, or God forbid, swept by the Guardians. Yeah, the Boo Birds would be immediately right back out. So, that doesn't matter, but you definitely want to win the series. It would be very, very good idea to put the Guardians down a couple spots, and then you can focus on the White Sox, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a matter of the White Sox have a couple of guys too. Like Colt Montgomery is going to be has been a pain in the ass. Miguel Vargas, pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. And those guys are, and I Thomas, I think you're right, spot on with this. You're we need a 4-2 homestand at the worst. And
that sounds right to me. Yep.
Yeah, my mental health can't handle the soup of the hands of Guardians. Same here. Yep. Parker Messick is a problem. Absolutely. Yeah. And so,
I mean, Cleveland pitches. They've got a great bullpen. We talked about it. They brought up Angel Pinal. He's an exciting young player. They've got some talent. They just aren't playing terribly well right now, and we would like to keep it that way. But it wouldn't shock me if they beat the Tigers. If they again, I wouldn't be horribly shocked. But you'd hope that some of these younger bats are just don't care.
Yeah, they're not tainted by memories of losing to the Guardians the past 2 years. Max Clark doesn't care about any of that crap. Valencia doesn't. McGonigal doesn't. So yeah, hopefully they just handle business. And the two problems with the Guardians and us are always that their bullpen is killer, and they victimize us with small ball because our infield sucks. Our infield defense is just bad. Like, a lot of the things that they do are bad baseball or not smart baseball, at least against some teams, but against the Tigers, it's largely worked. So, we'll see if they've got it in them to, kind of shut those things down and hit some of these pitchers that they sometimes have trouble with, and get it done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also the other thing too is I don't know what it is about Cleveland and like the bat pit gods, what have you, but it's also they even like when they have like for example with who's it? The guy who's starting tomorrow, Tanner Bybee. Yeah, Tanner Bybee.
Yeah, always
pitches well against Tigers. The game before he pitched against the Tigers last against the Nationals, he allowed like 5 or 6 home runs. Just was getting like Nationals, by the way, one of the best hitting teams, youngest teams in all baseball. But then he goes out and just shoves against the Tigers. Makes zero sense. Same pitch, it blows my mind.
I don't know if the Tigers get in their heads about it and like game plan too hard for some of these guys because this is a thing, Joey Cantillo and and Bybee should not just like destroy you, consistently. But for whatever reason, we have not hit some of these guys well. Gavin Williams, you understand. Gavin Williams is a monster.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and they're avoiding Williams. I mean, Messick is really good too. But you're getting Foster Griffin, who I think they just got from
the Nationals. Yeah,
Nationals, and
that's a lefty. And that might be a point to this, against the Tiger, or what part of the reasoning might be, we need more lefties to combat the Tigers. And so go out there and beat them up for that.
Sorry.
Because they didn't do a whole lot else, I mean, they didn't go make any crazy moves. Jose Ramirez is still not really looking Jose Ramirez like, but as we say, for once in a while, they've got like a couple good young players all at once with, Janau's up. And then DeLauder and Bazana. So they've they've got the makings of a new, not dynasty, but a new pain in the ass Guardians team that will roll over and keep going after Jose Ramirez is gone.
Yeah, it's a rivalry. It is now more of, I think, to me, it's more of a rivalry than it's ever been at any point in the last. Since the Tigers came to Central in 1997. I mean, when the Tigers came to the division, then it was so one-sided because Cleveland was so good and the Tigers were so bad. And then even in the 2010s or the mid 2000s, it was the White Sox and Cleveland, but it never felt like never got heated. But I feel like in the last 5 years, it's gotten heated. And,
there was some heat back then, but it was us on top. It was what was that one game where we got hit like 4 times by by Travis? So yeah, Mr. Bauer got us a bunch, back then, and there was some heat in some of those games, but it seemed like 2011, 2012, 2013, we still had their number. So, it wasn't like we were scared of them or annoyed by them or anything. They probably felt that way toward us. But the last few years, it's definitely felt more the reverse, for sure.
I think back to like 2007, 2008, when it felt like the Tigers were the better team, but also still lost. And it was like Granderson versus Sizemore and like Verlander versus Sabathia. And, they had Travis Hafner and Gary Sheffield was fighting Fausto Carmona and stuff. Like it wasn't super friendly back then, but
that's true. Yeah. I mean, we've had some moments with the White Sox too. I've just never taken them as seriously until very recently. So it just never quite lined up the same. Like the White Sox would have their little surge, but it was after the Tigers had already sold off in 2017, and it wasn't a big deal anymore.
Yeah, even it felt like even in like the prime of Chris Sale, it's like the Tigers just kind of had the White Sox number. Basically, after I want to say 2011 was when they were battling the White Sox for the division, and the Tigers just went bonkers in September. Yeah, and after that, it was like, we don't care that you have Canerco or whomever. We're just gonna
there was that 1 month when Ryan Rayburn just went nuts and just roasted them repeatedly, and I remember that. We won a couple games right there, and then just went to town for the next couple years.
Yeah, White Sox fans are they're intense. That's a good group, though. I'll never forget the chair. No, but so we get to the transaction list right now. Winfield Perez is rehabbing in Toledo. He's coming back. We mentioned the promotions earlier. It's sad, and Chris and I were talking about this earlier. Lyle Lockhart Jr. has been released with Sears coming up. It's unfortunate. We interviewed him. He's on you can find it on our YouTube channel. Really good dude. Funny guy too, really funny guy, and it sucks when you get that. And then Newberg, one of the coolest, Nuremberger
Nuremberg. Nuremberg Rondon. Yeah, it's an interesting name. He's it's that time of year guys are getting released. Scott Efros, Nuremberg Rondon. We saw Thomas Bruss and some other guys get released. Lockhart was like a soldier, right? Like I think he had the second most innings behind Carlos Pena over the last 3 or 4 seasons, and was a big part of that 22 or was it 23 SeaWorld championship, and then was on the team again to start 24. But that's just the kind of the nature of the beast, right? Like you're 28 and they're shuttling you around the system. It's probably the writing's on the wall, but he kept pitching. But yeah, I went back to the old. I did like the way we had the transactions last week, but that was just because there were so many, and I couldn't figure out a good way to do it. So I just went back to the dates here. But I didn't put in the Briseño call up and stuff because that hasn't been officially posted. But
officially. Yeah, and then there's Austin Gomer, which by the way somebody was saying, he can help out. No, he's just roster fodder, folks. Come on.
I think he was the main piece in the Nolan Arenado trade.
Yeah,
from Colorado to St. Louis.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I mean we're in pretty good shape for kind of middle relief style lefties at this point, and Mr. Herder is starting to ramp up, so we'll have another one.
I'm excited to see Brant Herder back. I think he was pitching really good before that back injury.
Yeah, when Brant Herder is on, he is one of the nastiest left-handed relievers in the game. So
yeah,
I shouldn't call him a middle reliever. That's not even really fair to what he can do for them. He just isn't always consistently doing it. That's a big, tall man to keep everything locked in and on target.
So then the Max Anderson, why is Max Anderson not up here yet? Kind of thing. I know he's still pushing his case. Now he's walking more and he's striking out. But
Yeah, where are you going to play him?
Yeah, we're going to play him. Colin reminded us, by the way, that St. Louis got $50 million in cash in that deal. Good call, Colin. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. That's wild.
That is wild. But as far as like the rest of the Toledo this week, it's funny. I had a friend of mine shoot me a text. My buddy Ray goes like, dude, I went to a Mudhens game. I was like, okay. And he's like, the hell you didn't warn me about? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's not much years since Max Clark left. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, Toledo's fine. And then I realized, and then I looked, I'm like, you might have a point, but you know, it's okay. Go see the Mudhens.
They need John. Yeah, they need John Peck back, but he and Callahan will be a little bit of a fun duo. And now you got Briseño, and you know, I assume Lorenzo will I don't know. I guess I shouldn't assume, but I would have thought that him as the one who's most likely to actually work out as a defensive catcher might be the one to get the call. I know the bat is you know, stuck in neutral, but to get used to the ABS and all that, I kind of thought he might get a look there. But you know, if he or Hope goes nuts or has a couple good weeks, you never know. You might see them as well. So there's not much pitching there. I mean, we can say that, but it's been that way all year.
Yeah, and that's and the thing is about Lorenzo, real quick before we move on, before we get back to Toledo, watching him over the weekend. When he does make it's really like, I don't want to say like all or nothing sometimes, but when he connects, I mean, he really it's impressive, like 110 off the bat kind of stuff. But then it's like sometimes his swing, I think the biggest problem with his is his swing's a little too long, but he's a much better on the right hand side. I think if he's going to choose a side, just stick with the right hand side. Yeah,
left-handed, he gets really handsy and he tends to scoop, you know, and when he connects, it's majestic, towering home runs. But there's a lot of foul balls on pitches he should drive. You know, quite a bit of swing and miss, and you know, I don't really know how much they're going to be able to get him beyond that. But again, he is a catcher, and there's a lot of things to work on, and maybe switch hitting isn't long term the way for him. You know, there's still things that let's just say his story is not, you know, close to told yet.
Yeah,
there's still going to be a lot of changes that go on with him, and we'll see how it plays out. Of course, the 40-man roster thing will become an issue, but we'll see.
Everybody who's writing him off already pisses me. Like, there's one, like I said, we've talked about this numerous times. There's people out there who hate on him for whatever reason, and that to me doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, there were people writing off Brant Herter Dylan Dingler when he was 25, and we were all kind of like, well, I mean, he's a great defensive catcher, and he'll give you a little power, and you know, you just never know. All of a sudden, we have the best player in baseball, arguably, and certainly in the AL. I mean, Yordan Alvarez can just suck it. He's not even close to Dingler's level, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Try catching. Try actually playing baseball, Yordan. You just hit, bro. I'm sorry. Doesn't count. Going full old school National League guy right here.
But what are you gonna say, Chris?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something. But catchers, but we've also said this too. Catchers take time to develop.
Yeah.
And you know, Lorenzo's what, 22?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think what's another thing, like a big general lesson we should all be taking from this, is that the Tigers are developing these guys well. You know, we were all here 10 years ago watching, you know, we knew who the top 100 prospects were in the game and how many of them didn't work out. Just about everybody, you know, well, not everybody, but a high percentage of guys who are good and get to AAA for the Tigers seem to be making it to the major leagues and continuing to get better. So, you know, you can take some confidence in that. This isn't the old days where it was just like a crapshoot and Christian Stewart was a, you know, fringe top 100 prospect. You know, these guys are you know, are useful and, you know, and developing, and they're getting to the major leagues and contributing. And we're seeing it again and again and again. So some of the old school paranoia about like, oh, prospects, you know, it doesn't matter until they get to the show.
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel that way if you want to, but all signs point to another direction, that things are going much better in the both in the rankings and in the development portion.
Well, we can take a case in point, like we mentioned this earlier. Jim Jarvis. Jim Jarvis.
I know the Tigers are shedding, you know, useful major league players at this point, and that's where you want to be. That's where you want to get to that point.
And for the record, the Tigers have not traded a prospect of their own since what, like 70? It's been almost 10 years, right? Prior to the trade deadline.
I can't even think of any. Yeah, until
the consequence. Right? Pardon me?
Yeah, before last year. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Liam Hicks was a Rule 5. But Liam Hicks as an example, yes, thank you. By the way, and there was But
I
no
guess
one
you could
saw.
say Gino Suarez was kind of still a prospect, even though he'd had a year. He was still so
Yeah.
young. But yeah, but it's
No,
like him
I'm
and
kind of-
Adamas. Nothing major since then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the guys I could think of are like Cade Civic for
Yeah.
Eric Ibar and like Javier Betancourt for K-Rod.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they not big trades, no.
Nope.
You talk about Micaiah Ashman. Was in.
Well, there were
possible
they
trade.
I think the qualifier was that before last year. They traded
Yeah.
some guys last
Oh,
year.
no, yeah, no, I know, but
But,
somebody was
but even
somebody-
Ashman and Enrique Jimenez, it's
Yeah.
not like they were top 10 guys in the system or anything either.
No, as far as like somebody asked about the pitcher from last year. Who, by the way, Micaiah Ashman this year. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, I know.
39
The
39
best FIP in
innings.
all of baseball. Yeah,
He's got the what?
he's got the lowest FIP in minor league baseball.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, 60 strikeouts in 39 innings.
Yep. He
I
was
don't think
nasty.
they called him up to Norfolk though. I think he's
Did
been
they?
in
No, he's
Chesapeake
still in
all
double-
year.
Oh, they just call him up to Double A
No,
or
I
Triple A,
think
rather
he's-
Triple A, because they according to this he still is in Double A as of right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's been called up to AAA.
Oh yeah, we have a massive oversight in Isaac Paredes. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Well, but okay, so
But I
but
think
but no,
he had-
but Paredes was technically from the Cubs. I'm talking about like homegrown guys that like.
Well, when we traded him for Meadows, but yeah.
yeah.
There we go. Yeah, Joe makes a good point. I mean, Carpenter, Malgeri, Valencia, or guys that
Yep.
would have been or guys before. So yeah, but Chris, is there anything else you want to highlight in Toledo before we move on?
We saw Jackson Wolf make his start with funky motion. Again, we think he's just there to eat some innings for him, but he won his first outing, so congrats to him.
He looks like Ellen. He looks like Ellen from Seinfeld dancing, pitching.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Some combination between that and Mike Clevenger's like twitchy, like power up
Yeah.
delivery.
Other than that, we went through this last year, but Tanner Rainey has pitched pretty well down the stretch here. I don't know if they're going to dip down and add him to the 40 man again or whatever, but another guy that's got a decent arm who's pitching well. So not a whole lot going on in Toledo, but it'll be fun when Sears and Briseño get up there.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got Briseño. He ended his Seawolf career on a high note. 5 for 17, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 walks, and just a strikeout. Pacheco. That was in last thing. I had a chance to talk to Isaac Pacheco on Saturday. He was more happy with the long at bats. He had 2 straight 7 or more pitches at bats, like just lengthy at bats, looking for timing. And again, I think people always like, "Oh, Pacheco's been there that long." He's been adjusting to Double A really well. He's healthy again, and
He's still 23.
yeah, he's still just in adjusting very, very, very well overall.
But still striking out 34.5% of the time, which says it ain't gonna happen. But there's still like a slim chance.
The thing about that and is he was so bad in April. It was like a 45% strikeout rate. So if you cut it off at May 1st, he's got a 159 WRC plus since then, with a 28% strikeout rate and a 15% walk rate. So hitting 275. It's like, I still don't know what to make of it. I've always felt like his swing might not work, but if he's getting to his power and he's walking a fair amount and he hits the ball really hard, like we were talking
really
about that lineup in Erie with Briseño gone, it's not quite as scary, but like having 250 steal guys and then like 4 guys with 70 raw, it's like what, what a nightmare. But so Pacheco he's been playing well, and it was his first 3 home run game in pro ball. That was kind of cool to see. I don't know, like I have him on our list. I think we all do, right? But I kind of being somewhat conservative with him because I still have no idea if it's going to work.
Yeah, he's still got to be like at best a 40. But yeah, I mean, but the other thing about him is that he's not a bad third baseman either. So it's not like he's just like, a guy that might, wander into some DH appearances or something at the big league level. So yeah, that's good to hear. I hadn't thin sliced it out at all as far as the strikeout rate. So yeah, that's good. And we know he keeps making adjustments too. Like, it's not like he's just been stagnant. He's lowered his hand position. He's, kind of quieted some of the free pitch.
He was talking about that too. Like all the adjustments that he's been working on consistently as part of his power lineup and everything. And so let me expand on the Kenny Sarah
Is that what they're wanting to expand on?
Yeah. So let me explain that real quick, Adam. So I was talking to Zach the other day, and we often get questions about Kenny Swerve all the time. They had a tweet of him pitching something along the lines, and it was the announcement. I think it was. I forgot that it was the announcement. Erie was announcing something big. It was a prospect or something like that, and that Kenny Swerve clip got more, like it got over 30,000 views, more so than the clip. And I wish I could remember what it was. Something to do with Max Clark or something like that. And it was like, I think it was a Kevin McGonigal thing. Got more views than a Kevin McGonigal. On our YouTube channel, like I looked through the search analytics, and Kenny Swerve comes up top 3. Where is Kenny Swerve pitching?
People want a knuckleball so bad.
Yeah.
You just had Jake Rogers. We had Jake Rogers at home.
Adam, I wish I could explain it any better than that, but it would cost you some money. It's
probably because more people search, knuckleball than search who are the top 5 prospects in baseball. I that's all I can explain it by.
Yeah.
I think there part of it is the idea that, like, hey, anybody can throw a knuckleball, right? Like, I could get up there and get these big leaguers out, and it's incredibly hard to have a consistent knuckleball that is good enough to miss enough bats and get enough weak contact. And Server just doesn't miss bats with his knuckleball. He gets weak contact at sometimes, but if it's not knuckling, it gets hit hard. And it's a fun, to see him pitch occasionally, but it doesn't blow you away.
Yeah, I mean, people have to remember the knuckleballs that you've seen and loved over the years were the absolute masters of it, like the absolute best guys with it. Like a guy who's like mediocre with a knuckleball is not a fun watch.
Yeah, and watching him pitch on Sunday is an example of that. When he can get hit pretty hard when it's not doing anything. I mean, Altoona was just waiting, timing it up, boom, 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 all hard contact, just rockets off of him. Yeah. And the exit velocity system was down, or the Hawkeye was down, but you can hear, I mean, it was a distinctive sound of hard contact off of them. News Drifter, just so because you're tuning in, ETA on River Ryan, late August, early September. That is all Scott Harris has said about it. But yeah, overall, as far as like, here's the thing, watching Charles pitch, I understand why people like this guy, but everything like fastball, just flat. But he has a very good cutter. That cutter is really good. I mean, he can get some strikeouts, but he's also 27. Yeah.
But yeah, he still feels more like a weak contact type middle reliever if things work out. Yeah.
We should touch on Zaire Hope. It was his first week in the system. You can see he did get only one hit. It was a home run. He struck out 6 times. I think 4 of those were in one game. He's going to strike out. He also walked a bunch. He worked. I think he had a 10-pitch at bat that ended with a flyout. Like he will put together strong plate appearances. And Raj and I agree. I think Raj speculated he was probably pressing a little bit in the New Org in front of your home fans. Like it's probably a bit of pressure there. But he also made 3 or 4 really good plays on defense. He is fast. He didn't. I think he got caught the one time he tried to steal, but he will steal bases. So
saw the arm a little bit.
Yeah, he made a nice throw to get a guy at second. He made a couple good catches and right. So he's going to provide a bunch of value, and he'll turn things around and probably have a monster week here in the next week or 2.
By the way, so for those who are wondering about, it was somebody, what was it here that said about,
Josh Turley.
Josh Turley. Yeah, it was Josh Turley. Why is Navigado still starting in Toledo? Simple. John Peck's injured, and they're not going to. But now, I don't think they're in a rush. This is the first year that Peyton Graham's been fully healthy.
Yeah. So it's a tough one, right? Because Peyton Graham is having a spectacular year, right? He's hitting for average. He's walking. He's stealing 50-plus bases. He's
they said a team record, by the way.
He's not a priority prospect for the team.
And he's not really a shortstop. He's a shortstop and sort of in the way that Gage Workman was a shortstop,
And so, like, we've said this for years and years and years. Like, the team tells you what they think of players by the way they, the moves they make. And they sent Callahan up. They sent Peck up. They sent Briseño up. They sent Sears up. Peyton Graham's having a great year, and he's staying in Erie because, and we do think they like him, but it's just like he's not a priority for them. I think it's kind of a Troy Cruz path here where he may ultimately get added to the 40-man at some point and may get a cup of coffee in the big leagues, but it's probably a utility profile. So
It seems like the thing to do with him now is to play him more in the outfield, and like because he could play center field, perhaps he has the speed to at least, but starting to kind of expand his repertoire toward like a full on utility role is probably the way to go. And I mean he may very well end up in Toledo, in September anyway, or in another couple weeks just to get a look, but yeah, there's just no sign that he's really like a priority object right now.
Yeah. West Michigan kicking Fort Wayne's ass all week. By the way, Fort Wayne's announcers, some of the best radio, like Buck Martinez imitations I've ever seen in my life. Shout out to those guys. Like, like 2 balls and 2 strikes down here in Fort Wayne. It was a lot of that and professionals. And I'm not making fun of them at all. Honestly, that's a hard job to do. But I just was like taken aback. Like wow, the quality's really good. But Colin. As far as Colin says, the only one thinks these calls were a bit late this year. I think it was out of injuries. I don't think they wanted to rock the boat too much, a little bit, honestly. But pitching wise, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I don't think they do it like on a set schedule, right? It's when guys look like they are ready, or if they've played well over a certain amount of time, they move them up.
And they started, before, or even before the draft. There was some movement, but it's just not the same thing because they were actually like aggressive earlier this year. Like with Rayner's not going straight to Erie this year, so some of the their better prospects were just already where they kind of needed to be. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Let's go.
No, and look here, Jake. We'll get to that here in a second. Yeah, so West Michigan set a team record with 7 home runs. Was it Wednesday?
I think so.
Yeah. Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday was Bryce Rayner got everything going, and then Christian Santana, as Jake said very, very correctly, fighting not to get released. Like he he had 3 home runs. As a total, it was also a lot of them were deep center field home runs too in that kind of that ballpark, and so they were teeing off. But the biggest thing, thank you, Alan. I wish fans might have more patience for Rayner. They want him to starting I think Kevin McGonigal has spoiled a lot of people, and it's not so thank you, Alan. That's some words of wisdom there. Absolutely.
And we discussed this a little bit earlier on the separate pod, and Brandon has brought this up before. It's with Rayner, it's still a lot of it is still the passive approach where he's getting himself behind in counts regularly because he's just not swinging enough. And like when he swings and makes contact, the ball goes hard. And so like I don't know how I guess it's a better problem to have if a guy's not swinging enough than it is he's swinging too much. But you still need to find a happy medium there because you can't strike out 34% at a ball and have a big league career really. So he needs to figure out a way to rein that in a little bit. Yeah, and I think he will. We've seen stretches where he's elite, and it's just he's a young hitter. He's had his ups and downs and mechanical issues, and
but you'd also like more. if you're going to strike out in the minor leagues, I'd rather see you taking too many called third strikes or getting behind by taking pitches than having a high swinging strike rate, because swinging strike rate kind of correlates more directly to like your hand-eye coordination and your ability to just square up balls. And there's only a certain amount that they can ever even do with that. If your approach just needs work, that's more easily managed. I mean, Max Clark to a much smaller degree takes a lot of pitches as well. And a lot of his strikeouts this year have come from, just deciding not to swing at an edge pitch that he knows he can't do something with anyway, but they call it a strike on him. So yeah, it's the better problem to have, at least with Rayner.
Yeah.
And we got Espinal has started to hit a little bit. He hasn't found any power. He doesn't have an extra base hit in high A yet, but it's early. Ankeny had a monster week, and I didn't realize
he's walking a lot too.
Yeah, it's suddenly walking. He went up a level, hitting for power and walking. It's like, well, all right, that's interesting. I didn't realize his brother was in pro ball up until last year too. He had an older brother named Eli who was a pitcher in the Met system. I didn't know that.
Eli.
But you see,
Eli Ankeny.
Woody Hayden has like a 45 or 450 on base percentage this year, so it was time to get him up to Erie.
Yeah.
And Woody Hayden will also be added to that pool of like Peyton Graham, and maybe one of these guys will turn into like the speedy 26 man of your dreams. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. Love Woody though, fun player.
It'll be a good challenge for him. And by the way, West Michigan within striking distance of a playoff spot, chasing Great Lakes right now for a playoff spot. Lansing is not good. So this should be a good week for we'll be down there. You know what? I haven't been down to one game in West Michigan this year. I think this is the time to go. I admittedly have just been busy with between Toledo. I've been everywhere but West Michigan. So I think it's time to go this weekend. Maybe at some point, maybe Friday or something along those lines. We'll see. But I might just take a sick day Friday and just go. Because Saturday, my buddies are doing a poker night, and I haven't done a poker night in years. So,
oh yeah, especially in season, like we do have to like remember to see our friends and family and stuff.
Yes, yeah. Like case in point, my brothers.
Control. I was up north over the weekend for 4 days in Houghton Lake with the whole family, and it was like after the deadline and the draft and everything, it was like I really needed a break.
Colin, that's actually, Colin, that's an excellent idea. I think I will go Wednesday. Chris, do you want to go Wednesday?
That is a good idea.
Happening?
Ben Jacobs is pitching.
Yeah,
that works for me.
All right, cool. Well, all right, we'll see you then Wednesday. But no, it's, by the way, speaking of friends, so my brothers invited me to go golfing Sunday, but then I had a chance to see Zaire open lineup. I'm like, all right, I got, because he didn't play Saturday when I went. So, and I haven't gone to 2 games in Erie all season, and I wanted to. And not only it was funny, I was getting. Tony Capicello was giving some grief about my crypto account being hacked, and he was giving me he was like Rogelio. He goes, I saw him. He goes, Rogelio, I don't want your damn crypto, dude. Fluky is going to pitch, and he's going to pitch soon. So no guys have made the Bridge League is underway. Michael Massey has made an appearance, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Massey is alive.
Zach Swanson is alive. Paul Wilson is alive.
Yeah.
They're not thriving, but they're alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a start. We'll just start there. Can I just, before we click off this, Lucas Ellisalt, like everybody's on Ben Jacobs, and that's good. And, everybody is stoked about Cash Mayfield, and we want to see him. But Lucas Ellisalt, guys, keep a close eye. The heater is looking outstanding, starting to come along. The breaking stuff still needs a little bit of work, but I'm impressed. And I really think he's right there, just like a hair beneath, those couple guys that we would have, in the 45 plus zone. I got Lucas up there now.
And it's the second straight year that he's gone on kind of this epic run. Somewhere around mid-May last year, it was 50 innings and like a 0.88 ERA. This year it's at 43 innings and a 2 ERA. But like he's shown the aptitude to kind of adjust the competition.
And the gas has been there more and more too. It's been more 94, 95 with a lot of pop to it. So,
and the changeup's pretty good, and he'll show he's an interesting pitching prospect, and this is a well-deserved promotion for him. And Jacobs is fun, and Brady Smith, that was fun to watch him. His fastball shape might need a little work, and the breaking balls need some work, but that changeup is dastardly. So.
That is pretty filthy.
That changeup has come a long way. Good call, Colin here. But that changeup has come a long way since spring training. Remember, he was trying to throw it, Chris, and it wasn't even no one near where it was.
But it's interesting. I think he threw a splitter last year. I'd have to look up at the stats because he was like a 900 RPM changeup in low A, and so he may have. I think it's a kick change now, right? So, these guys alter things and change things based on how they feel and their pitch grips and so forth. And you gotta give them time to figure that out. It's like
the kick change is becoming the hotness. Cameron Fluke's working on one. A lot of guys have them.
And so here's a good example here. And we don't have to skip right to these guys, but this is what I was talking about earlier with in a different show with like things can change in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Caleb Wiska, congrats to him for making the Baseball America top 30 finally. He's started throwing his curveball a lot more lately, and it's a pretty good curveball. And then Owen Hall, who I was like, I'm going to give up on this guy. Basically, it's like it's not looking good. And then his last 2 outings, he looks absolutely filthy. It's like what the hell happened? Like, so you just got to give these guys time and realize that things can happen quickly sometimes.
Yeah, especially when they're that young and they've been injured and haven't had consistent reps. Yeah, I mean, you really got to try to give them as much time as possible to let them have a run at least of, 10 outings, 15 outings to like see if they get better or not.
Owen Hall look like he's changed his mechanics too. Like he's that when he comes to the set or he throws back, like that second, that's a pause, right here, like
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's.
That's brand new, isn't it? Like, right. Hold on. Sorry.
I think he's just sinking in with his right, sinking into his right side better. He's dropping and driving instead of kind of falling and driving.
Yeah,
although he can fall too.
No, but he's definitely driving the plate more than he was when he first got drafted.
Yeah, but it all just looks way more synced up. Like he was just so messy on the little bits that I saw earlier this year. So,
and I mean, that's the one hit he's given up in his last 2 outings was a blooper. But he's generally just throwing 95, 96 right by people. Just it's low A, but it's a start.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lively 94.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that whip, and he's got the length and the long levers. He's getting down the mound a lot.
Maybe the beard's
he can spin the baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. He grew up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird because I think Raj, you posted our top, the McCarthy, our top 40 from this time last year, right? August.
Yeah.
And I just mentioned Kel Wiska. He wasn't on it because I don't think he had pitched yet in pro ball. No. And then we saw him and we're like, hey, this is interesting. And then this year he's throwing tons of strikes at 90, 95, 97. Like I said, he's got a changeup that I actually like a lot that consistently gets called a sinker because it's so hard.
Yeah.
And he's folded in the breaking balls, and that's another guy that these things can happen really quickly. So it's good to see.
Yeah, Colin kind of pointing out, I mean, there were a lot of splitter guys at first, but then there was also, we would figure out, as that went along, okay, that's not a splitter, it's more of a split change of this type or this type. They've experimented a lot, and it seems like they have a lot deeper repertoire of different types to work with, and the kick change has obviously been the latest and best exemplified by Drew Anderson. But even last year, Dietrich Enns, coming up with that, he was not ever going to pitch in the major leagues, and that pitch got him there. So for guys who can't quite figure out a change up one way or the other, that it seems like it might be tougher to command, but maybe that's just me being biased with Anderson, because he'll throw 4 or 5 that look like the nastiest thing you've ever seen and then hang a flat one and it gets killed. So it seems like it's a tough pitch to command consistently, maybe for some guys, but one way or the other, it gives you another option. If the circle or the split or the Fosh or whatever isn't working for you, or whatever Scooble's weird ass seam shifted one is.
Whatever works. Yeah, there are options now. The guys didn't used to have the ability to try something out and get instant feedback, and now you can, and you can figure it out.
And pitching coaches used to like one, they would be like, oh, this guy teaches that one, and now it's no, you've got a whole buffet of that you can kind of look at their release and their hand shape and all that kind of stuff, and they've probably got AI modeling which one works best out of this guy's release and hand now, to try to speed the process up. Wild times.
Roger Craig was the split guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody asked us on Twitter, "What's up with Schaffelbaum?"
No, I mean there were pictures of him. He's not pitching, but there were pictures of him. Somebody, Matt Manning. He actually was on Instagram, hawking something. He's invented a thing to help you keep your arm slot, something like that.
Post surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Matt Manning.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Holy cow.
Yeah, it was a random Instagram guy, and he's sitting there it was this thing where you
it's like a little plastic thing that keeps your arm. And I don't know. I was I didn't know he liked baseball that much.
One of those golf training. I know. Where you keep it under there to stay connected.
Yeah, that way, it helps you when post surgery to keep your motion the same.
Yeah, well, we could never figure out after a few years, at least, whether Matt Manning really loved it or whether it was just well, this is the job I've chosen. But maybe it was just because it was just not working for him all those years. The struggle.
And we should quick mention of Angel De Los Santos. We've talked about him a bunch, and he came up and hit his first 2 home runs in the in low A.
Oh,
it's pretty impressive for a he's younger than Jordan Yost.
Yeah,
and he already has more home runs than Jordan Yost.
Yeah,
I think he doesn't have the plate discipline, and he's a lot more chaotic on defense.
Yeah,
he's error prone and mistake prone, but he's got all the tools, man. This is a kid who's going to be really exciting to watch in the next year or two.
Somebody posted Manuel Boulevard catcher.
Well, I put up his home run from earlier today, but
somebody else did the same thing for some stupid reason.
He's got 8 home runs now. He's Bolivar's got a top right now. It's a top 5 DSL season from a Tigers 17-year-old, like going all the way back to 2006. So, it's this, the strikeouts are kind of high, but he's walking and hitting for a ton of power, and he seems like a legitimate catcher. So it's another interesting player down the road.
Yep.
By the way,
hopefully we'll get to see Randy Santana next year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been struggling a little bit. I don't know,
he has, but
like
he's going to be fun. Yeah.
So here's De Los Santos. You can see skinny as a rail, but kind of whippy.
Pretty quick bat.
Alexi Ramirez-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. That's a good call.
And
but
he's made a couple. He's made a couple crazy defensive plays too. But
his his setup too. It's so weird. It's just like he's like, and then just the whippiness comes through really quick too.
Yeah. I mean, he was just on those pitches, of course, so it looks its best, but he's really connected. Yeah, it was like the whole thing just snaps at once.
27 RBI in the FC.
Oops, this was a nice play here. That I wanted to show.
It might have been in one of his first games, but he got robbed of a. Yeah, but he's made a couple. There was one play where he was second baseman and basically ranged all the way over to shortstop and threw against his body, and it was a perfect strike. So yeah, it's just. Like I said, another one of those young guys that's fun to watch.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan Garco and Shane Farrell both. Yep, it all seems to be going well. They just needed some more pitchers to work with, and now they got them too.
Yeah. And Rainer Castillo, I forgot to mention, had a solid week too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm sad about my boy Carlos Marcano. That hasn't come to pass. I was all excited about the velo bump and always thought, with that and with the control he had, that would come along, but he's in bad shape now, unfortunately. But Rainer starting to show some signs again.
Yeah. See. But should be a big week. Big week. Cleveland.
Big
Chicago.
series. Big series.
Yeah, big series. Big series.
Huge. Must win.
Yeah, must win. So remember, folks, it's going to be, like I said, what the West Coast doesn't matter. What they do this week. They got the Cleveland, and they got Chicago after that. So thanks so much.
Imagine the crowing. I'm sorry to interrupt right at the intro. Imagine the crowing that's going to go on if we win these two series. Everyone is suddenly going to be in their absolute glory. Like, we didn't even need you, Tarek. Stop talking to the media. We don't care. We don't want you back. We got this.
Look,
Scott Harris, I think, has done some research on his pitching acquisitions, because I feel, I mean, obviously I've said the same thing and ripped him for that the whole last year and a half, for not doing a good job of acquiring free agent pitchers, for the deadline trades last year that were abysmal. Alex Cobb, blah blah blah. But I think he did pretty well at the deadline, and we like Fluky a lot. And then we'll see if Mr. Dempsey and some of these other guys can contribute too.
Yeah, like I said, I think he showed some contrition. I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, we're expecting to see Fluky at some point here in the next month.
Yep.
Yeah.
If not sooner. Yeah. So we'll keep you posted, and I'm sure somebody will stalk an Instagram or two and find some footage out there too as well. But at any rate, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Everything Tigers Minor League Report. Thank you for the donations too as well. But if you want to go to our Patreon, go to patreon.com/Tigers Minor League Report, and you can sign up to be a free member or you get a paid member. And we're gonna have the breakdown for all our paid members and our YouTube subscribers too. So if you're a paid YouTube subscriber, do the super membership, you're going to get the video in the morning with us breaking down the top 40 and what have you. And then Chris is doing a little article with that too. So, and then we'll be back for Thursday for Mercy Metrics. I will have softball playoffs. So I might be able to go on the show this week. So we got playoffs this week, but good night, everybody. Thanks for joining, making you part of your Monday night routine. And we'll talk to you soon. Stay classy, everybody. Have a good night.
Hey, guys.
I forgot to put the intro video out there. There we go. All right. There we go.